Roadies. Thank you for stopping by. I have lots to share today. Some news. What else? Oh, you know, it's this and that. It's this and that. Or maybe that over there. But first of all, today's a beautiful day in the greater Portland area. It is scattered clouds and they're white. No smoke. There has been smoke drifting into the region from fires in other parts of Oregon, but we keep our fingers crossed. Actually, September is a high fire time for Central Oregon. So, keeping our fingers crossed. I know there's so many of you who might be suffering bad weather. Oh, flooding in the back east and heat. Oh my gosh. And today the high is going to be around 80 here. So I feel like I should have one of those screens like the weather girl. So G and I are going to enjoy the backyard. Yes, it's a perfect day for it. Before we get into the fun part, which is always about cross stitch, I have some business to take care of. First of all, I read all the comments. I don't always have time to respond to everyone, but you should know that I look at them all. There's just so much sharing that's going on in the community that I don't want to miss out. But with that comes weirdos. And I'm not talking about you. Every so often, I end up with comments that are not directed to me, but are comments to people leaving a comment. Do not answer any comment that does not have to do with cross stitch, specifically someone asking you a question or in a response to me. Every so often, we end up with scammers on there who usually their comment to your comment is something like, hey, how are you? I'd like to get to know you. Yeah, right, weirdo. So do not respond to those. Luckily for me, there are some of you who email me and let me know. I get a lot of emails, so once I get through, I block those people. I report them. Yeah, so if you see one of those comments that's usually an answer to another person's comment that is nothing to do with the topic of the day, but more to do about, hey, I want to meet you, don't even respond to that. Don't click on the name, don't, because that's just not right. It's just not right. And I would say that I tend to be a lot more cautious than maybe the average Instagrammer or floss tuber. I know that floss tube is, you can't filter who gets on your floss tube. But in Instagram you can. And so if our paths cross, we should be blessed with a chance where our paths cross, and you would like to follow my Instagram feed, just ask me and we can do it on the spot. Because a lot of times, I mean every time, I'll get requests, and it's not that I'm ignoring them, but I check each one, and if I can't tell that it's a cross stitcher, I don't say yes. And if I can't see the feed, I definitely don't say yes. And it's not that I'm being rude or dissing somebody. It's just that given a history in my life, I'm very cautious. And so, yeah, help me out. I will never ask you for money. So if you get an email from me asking for money, or I will never ask for postage. If you get an email from me that I need money for postage, that is not me. That is not me. I will not be doing any of that. I try to keep our place, our space, as clean and as happy and as open as I can. And so I enjoy my time with you, and I also would not pass up some help in keeping the weirdos out. Okay, so that is the announcement for the day. The other one is that I still have not heard from 2, 3, 4, 5 of the winners for charts that Lori donated. I sent out the ones that I heard, and one went all the way to Sweden. So I hope it gets there. They told me it might take a month to get there. I was like, really? Wow, I could fly there faster than that. But I still have not heard from 5 of the winners. So what I'm going to do is, if I don't hear in the next couple of videos, because it was summer and Labor Day and people aren't, catching up on the watching, and they may not remember they even entered in the giveaway. I'll give it a couple more weeks, and then after that, what I'll do is I'll just pile those charts for the giveaways in Christmas, the 12 days of giveaway. I like to do a 12-day of Christmas giveaway. And I have not heard from the $50 Acorns and Threads gift card winner. Yes, so I'm hoping that everything's okay with that person and their family, and that it's just a busy time for them. But I will give that a couple more weeks, and then I'll redraw that one right away, because hey, Needlework Expo charts are out and someone needs to be enjoying that gift card. Okay, so there we go. I've got a busy September. Lots going on. This week I'm very excited because I have a friend visiting, and so we're going to be having some fun cross-stitching, and I wanted to be really organized when we gather together to have specific charts that I'm going to work on. So I went through all of my whips and picked out the ones that I wanted to give a little love to while I had company. Yeah, because there's nothing more invigorating than stitching in front of another stitcher, don't you think? It's like, oh yeah, it's like you feed off each other. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Yes. G's going to be in the background. He's going to be in the background. So I'm going to show you those charts. I did finish my sister's birthday gift. I loved the adjustments that I had to make to the chart. Thank you so much for all your support and encouragement. It was really outside the box for me. Janine at Acorns and Threads knows that when I walk in and I find something I want to stitch, I want the exact thread and the exact fabric and the exact count. I don't deviate at all. There's enough busyness going on in my brain without adding more to it. So that particular chart was a stretch for me, because I picked all of my own floss. You know how some people convert their floss? I've never done that. And so I did for that particular project. And it was mainly because I had this beautiful piece of fabric, which ended up being the right size. I have to say I'm awful proud of myself that I didn't just give up. Yeah. Yeah. It turned out great, and you will see it when it's fully finished. It's at the framers right now. That, yeah, I can't even express how happy I am with myself. It was like this giant hug I could give myself. So I got that one done. So I had a couple of finishes this month, because I also finished You're Not the Boss of My Quilt by the Fat Quarter Shop. And I changed the saying just because I wanted to. And so here's my finish. Stitch and Quilt Roadie. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. I was thinking, I could frame it, but I would love to take a bag to like workshops or stitchy gatherings. And so I thought I could make a project bag and mount this on the front, or I could put it on a Yazzie bag. I haven't quite decided yet, so it's going to stay a finish and not a fully finished quite yet. What I can tell you is you'll want to get this chart. It was so much fun to stitch. It had a really satisfying cadence to it. And I will never get rid of that chart, because I could reuse, just think about these tiny little squares. You could do all kinds of gift items or decorative items, change the colorway. So that's a chart that you want to add to your library. Yeah. So that was a finish. Wow, 2 finishes this month. Now, let's see, what shall I move on to? Oh, well, let me just show you where I am. I am doing, I have actually 2 specific sals. All my other sals have become start-alongs, but the hashtag Love My Stitch sal is so awesome, because it can be anything you're stitching on, and that's just like, oh, every time you post something to hashtag Love My Stitch sal, you feel like you've accomplished something. So I'll put those hashtags down below. You want to post what you're working on. It doesn't have to be any particular chart, which is awesome. And I also am committed to the hashtag Leanne's Legacy. And for those of you who may not have been around in FlossTube, Leanne was one half of the Lost in Floss FlossTube. Barb has carried on the gauntlet of the FlossTube, and she was truly an inspiration in the cross-stitch world. I won charts from that FlossTube, and they were 3 all through the night charts of snowmen. And so I have the other 2 done, but this 3rd one had been in a whip pile, and I decided to get it done in honor of Leanne. And so here's the progress I've made. He's so cute. So I have the other 2 done. Once he's done, then I'm way fully finished. I have already the frame, but I wanted to show you this tool. The thing about this particular project and many other projects is it's very easy to get off count, because there's a lot of confetti stitching to it. And so to keep myself on track, I said, oh, I can use the Line Keeper, which is a magnetic tool from Fat Quarter Shop. And that's this blue blue thing. So this is magnetic. See, it's two-sided, and you just put it over your chart and you line it up where you're at, and then you move it down as you need to move it down. And it's really, really a handy tool. And so I believe it's in their Notions pile. And this is perfect for the Santas, Prairie Schooler Santas. These size charts, it just fits perfect on them. So that is what I have been delving into the last 3 or 4 days. I did pick up some new charts from Needlework Expo. Did you see? I kind of went, ooh, that brain just kind of went, oh, how cool are those charts? Yeah. And one of them is Beth Twist. Now, when I saw this, I was totally enthralled. And it was because of the perspective of the house. And I showed this when I in a previous video. But that is amazing. And then my girlfriend, Robin, told me, I told her that I just love these dog bones that are buried, and that on the tombstone I'm going to put Enzel's name. And she said, why don't you take the rest in peace off and put all 3 of your dogs' names? Because there was Charlie, and then there was Yoshi, and then there was Enzo. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. I'm definitely going to do that. The problem I had was picking fabric out. And so when I was at Acorns and Threads, I picked out a beautiful brown, I can't remember what kind it was, but it was beautiful. But by the time I got home, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. And you need to be able to listen to yourself rather than be governed by what's outside yourself. You need to listen to that voice, because these are projects that you're going to love and you want to. So listen to your own voice. And I said, I tried to force myself. I laid the threads, the floss all out on it and looked at the pattern, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I looked through my drawer of fabrics, and I found a fabric I fell in love with. And it was a smoky vintage, a Belfast linen. But it was too white. But it had this kind of gray, cloudy feeling to it. So I said, well, I'm going to kind of tea and coffee dye it. So I made up this mixture, and I dunked it, and then I dried it, and I love how it turned out. I absolutely love how it turned out. The only thing that I'm not familiar with, and maybe one of you would know, is Belfast linen. It seems awful wrinkly to me, but here it is. Now, I have steam ironed it, I have sprayed it with flatter, I have ironed it on both sides, and I'm not quite sure if it's just the nature of this linen. See that kind of cloudy effect on it? It's going to be so cool. But I wonder if the wrinkle part is going to, if that just adds to the ambiance of the piece. I called Janine up. Yeah, it's like calling your priest. Janine is like the Stitch roadie priest. So I call up Acorns and Threads. I said, I need to speak to Janine. Bless me, Father, for I have stitched the wrong fabric. Yeah. So Janine kind of talked me through it and explained some things and how I might get rid of the wrinkles. I don't know if the wrinkles are okay to be in there or not. It's so new to me. So what did I do? I said, listen, I'm picking up my friend at the airport on Saturday and we're coming straight to the shop. Are you there? And she said, yes. I said, I'm bringing the fabric so you can actually look at it and tell me if it's supposed to be wrinkly like that, if that's a problem or not. I don't know. I've never stitched on Belfast linen. Do any of you know? Anyhow, I have my, this is one of the projects that's going to be when I'm stitching with my girlfriends, and it's going to be a new start. So I want to have the answers. And I have the floss already in my floss book from Stitchy Witch 42. I have my hair, I have a hair tie, a elastic hair tie that holds it because depending on how much floss, it explodes. But it's absolutely, it has a card that you can list everything in. These are, it's just kind of a fun. And there's her little card, Stitchy Witch. So this is the floss is all ready, the chart's all ready, the pattern is here. It's in my beautiful bag. That's right. Okay. My girlfriends and I are going to be doing a make and take with Linda, aka Van Mom. And I'll put that link below. She started a Patreon page. I'm telling you, this is someone you want to take and join a Patreon with. Patreon is a platform where talented people can share their lives, their crafts, do classes, whatever, whatever they're doing. And for those of us who are interested, you join it, and you join at whatever subscription rate that they establish. It's kind of like subscribing to a magazine. And I used to subscribe to 2 or 3 magazines. I don't even subscribe to a magazine anymore. I rarely even buy a magazine. And it's very easy to sign up on a Patreon, and it's very easy to unsign up. So it's not like you're committing for the rest of your life. But I like to have at least one Patreon going at a time. Some people would do 2, 3, 4. I mean, there are several out there. And depending on your likes or interests. So I decided that for this fall, winter, I'm going to be a participant in Linda's Patreon. And she will have Zoom meetups. She'll have make and takes. If you've seen the video where I visited her stitchy room, she is someone who has a bottomless well of creativity. And I would like a little bit of that to rub off. So since I was going to do a make and take with her this next week, she sent some instructions, and we had to have some motifs stitched, and so I got my motifs all stitched up. I don't know what we're making. It's a surprise. And I'm very much looking forward to that, and I will put that link below for those of you who are interested in joining her Patreon. And maybe we'll meet up in a Zoom meetup. couple of new starts. Now again, I'm telling you again, this pile I'm showing you is what I'm working on when I'm stitching with my friends this next week, because I want to. New start. Of course, my printer was totally on the blink, but I went through and looked at what I might want to do this next week, and I found this modern folk embroidery chart that I had printed off, Jane Austen. There's nothing like staying at home for real comfort. So true. So this is going to be a new start for me, and I have my fabric, and my thread is Weeks Dye Works Coal, and my fabric is Grog, and it's housed in my Dot Goose bag with my little, I love the little pal thing that she puts in her bags. I'm also taking Simone's Smalls with me because I need to make the band that I want to go around. I know some of you are going, and she thinks she's going to stitch all this? Watch me. Watch me. I'll get a good start, I think. So Simone's Smalls, I want to make this band because I want to put it around Peter's bee skep that I got, the scissor holder. And so that is all ready to go with cherry cobbler in my Cory bag. Then I decided that I'm going to take some, since it is September, I'm going to take some whips that are samplers. So I have, see, another Dot Goose bag. This one has got the little thread pal. And that project, oh, you guys are just, did you go get a cup of coffee? Did you go pee? Huh? Teresa Kogut's Land That I Love. Oh. You know, and this one, let me tell you, this one I'm very tickled about because I went for it on the border and it matched up. So there I am. So I can make, if I got another row of something done, I'd be pretty darn happy, or a house or something. That would be good. Since it's October, I found this whip, Away We Ride by Blackbird Design. Oh, I just love this. It's a good life when you open every single thing and you say, oh, I love this. It's a good thing. So here I am. So that will be going with me. And then finally, diligent. In all things be exceedingly diligent. And this was a chart that I saw at the attic, and I fell in love with it. The colors just blew me away, and so I did the sample that was hanging there. I wanted it exactly like that sample, so I bought the exact fabric. I bought all the called for threads, which were Anchor, and I got them both at the Addict and at the West in Tucson. This was my birthday start, and here I am pushing up on another birthday. Be nice if I got it done before my birthday. That would be a freaking miracle. But what the heck? I could use a miracle or two. How about you? Excuse me. Yeah, so that is my pile that I'm going to work on this week. Yeah. I'm taking both my 10-inch and my 7-inch Morgan hoop, and I got some Happy Mail. It is Happy Mail, even though I bought it for myself. I am happy to be a gift giver to myself. When I saw this, I was like, so my friend Heather, who is Punky Pearl, she posted on Instagram, and you're going to want to follow her, because she is a bag maker, and I was so lucky that I opened it, because when I don't look at Instagram, I don't have like notifications on. My life is so chaotic that I look at social media when I'm in a waiting room or I'm stuck somewhere in one spot. If I sit down for a moment, waiting, it's always a waiting thing for me. So I usually miss a good portion of what's going on. I lucked out because when I opened up the Instagram feed, there was Heather's bag, and I said, me please, yes. And it's because I'm an October baby, and I love everything Heather does, and I haven't even opened it yet. I was so, don't you love crinkle? But I wanted a bag that would house all my Halloween stitchy ornaments. You know, I buy that magazine, and I could do several. So here's the bag. I have one of these bags also, but not Halloween themed. So it zips closed, but when you unzip it, there's pockets inside. Is this not the coolest thing you have ever seen? Oh my gosh, it's like so cool. So it's going to be housing, these bugs are crazy. It's going to be housing Halloween stitchy stuff. All my Halloween smalls that I want to do. I also want to, this is a whole Stitch Roy video of alsos. Lots of alsos. Yeah. If you want to join me, I am very excited about doing this Halloween stitch. And as soon as I get the fabric and the floss, I'm going to be doing this stitch. I will show you right now. Let's see here. It's on a Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, I should just go to my mail. I really want to stitch this when you got grandkids, this is a fun thing. Even if you don't have grandkids. If you're a Halloween person, this is a fun thing. So if I can get it together quick enough, I'm going to stitch the whole grid in September. I love how much I believe in myself. I absolutely love how much I believe in myself. Then in October, I'm hoping to, no guarantees, stitch one square, the motif in each square, and it's that Halloween calendar. Isn't it adorable? It's by the Tiny Modernist. So if I can get the stuff together, and if you can get the stuff together, let's do that together. And even if we did one or two, I divided up so that we could get it done. Maybe it would be awesome if it was this Halloween. It would be awesome. But if it's next Halloween, that'll be great too. And I'll post it under Love My Stitch Sal so that we don't have to be beating ourselves up if we don't meet a deadline. We love everything about this. And it's all DMC. I just love this. So go on the Fat Quarter Shop and look up Halloween calendar. It's an older chart, so I know many of you probably have already done it, but I have not, so I am ready to do it. One of the things that I discovered this last week, and this is very important, I want you to know. When you are stitching on a project that has white floss, if you are drinking coffee, you can't lick your floss. That's a really important thing. You cannot lick your floss. And right now, the pumpkin spice lattes are out. You cannot drink those and stitch on projects that use white thread because you cannot lick your floss. Okay, that's my public service announcement for this floss tube. Well, G left me with another wisdom moment. I should call them G's wisdom moments. I've been saving when he when he says something totally off the wall and catches me off guard. I've been writing them down on sticky notes and saving them because so that maybe when we've gone to he's not going to the stitch room in the sky, but when we're no longer around, the kids will maybe discover these gems of wisdom. And our pattern in the evening is that we kind of get our comfortable clothes on and sit in our chairs to watch TV, and I stitch and he looks at his laptop either at maps or at music. And he got up to go get like a drink of water or something, and he said he had gym shorts on, like those loose gym shorts, and he said, I have my gym shorts on backwards. And I just looked at him, and in the next breath he says, but it's nice to do something different. Sometimes you gotta just do something different. You guys take care. Love each and every one of you. Hope everything's going well, that you're healthy, that you're enjoying this move into fall, and we'll see you the next time. You take care.